Moyukba lofi, moyukba loru, moyukba lodumare, olorun alabadu seyelo basunile, olorun alaye, olorun elemi, moyukba shedra, moyukba koda, moyukba aye odum, oni odum, odumola, moyukba baba, moyukba yeye, moyukba ara, moyukba ile, moyukba bobowan, olodo, ararun, ijalosha, babalosha, omoko, kolakba, egun embelece. Y bae bae tonu bokbogun arorun ori eminani kinkamashio shungere. Welcome to my tarot. Welcome to this video. I am Manu Tarot. You probably have seen my videos already, but today I just want to talk a little bit about something that you have heard from me that I have been using once in a while in my tarot card readings, and are the words Ire, Yosokpo. Ire, many people translate that as blessings, and simply put, is blessings. Ire is kind of similar, if we could say that, to what in astrology is known as trine. A trine is when one planet is 120 degrees from the other planet. Mars, Venus, they are 120 degrees apart. Venus and the moon 120 degrees apart from each other. That's a trine, and it's called a trine because in between, on the zodiac, in between those planets, there are 4 houses, and each house is 30 degrees. Therefore 4 times 30 is 120. There is actually a degree of difference. It could be 10 plus minus degrees. And a trine, what it really means is that the gods, the orishas, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is making your life really, really easy and very simple. Things comes to you without sweating, without any problem, without any kind of difficulty. Everything is technically easy for you without any kind of struggle. Life makes it really simple and easier for you. That's technically Ire. 120 degrees. You have the sextile and the semi-sextile that is more or less on the same page. Sextile is, the word says it, 60 degrees. Semi-sextile is 30 degrees. But it's on the realm of Ire. The thing is that when someone has a trine, the stars, the universe, gods, whatever you want to call it, makes it so simple that the problem is that you could be your worst enemy, because then you rely on that energy and you just lay back and let it come to you, and you don't do anything, and it becomes static. You become a body of inertia. You just don't do anything. You don't move. And the energy that doesn't move stagnates. And when something doesn't move or stagnates, eventually is going to rot. And it's going to turn into a Osogbo. For a very simple reason. You don't appreciate what you have, your blessings. You just don't care. You might waste those blessings. You might not use them for your fellowship humans, for help them progress, and then eventually it turns into an Osogbo, into a challenge, or a threat, an obstacle, or even a curse. So a blessing sometimes could be a curse if you don't know how to use that energy properly. that takes me to Osogbo. Osogbo is exactly that. It's a challenge, it's a threat, it's an obstacle, and in the most dramatic way, it could be a curse. But that's something that in astrology is called a square or a 90 degrees angle, where each planet is separated from each other. The moon is 90 degrees from the sun, or Mars is 90 degrees from Venus, or Uranus is 90 degrees from Pluto, or whatever. 90 degrees, and there is a minus plus 10 degrees. Okay, give and take. And that, in astrology, what it means is there's frictions. You have been challenged. You have to figure out how you can couple those energies in order to bring forward a blessing for you. Turn that into an advantage. In other words, God, the universe, the Orishas, they want you to work your tail off in order to make that difficulty, to turn that difficulty into a blessing, an ire. Okay? But you have to work for it. You have to gain it. That's the difference. The thing is that with these challenges and these frictions that life is bringing you, you obtain experience. You obtain new perceptions and new understandings of many things in life, which enrich your soul. It enriches you psychologically and emotionally. So if you know how to manage these threats, obstacles, and challenges in your life, you will be able to become a master. And eventually that might turn into an ire. So not always because the card is upside down, it means that it's bad. It means that you have a challenge that you have to master. You have to learn something in life in order to obtain an experience and then use that in your advantage to turn it into a blessing, a trine, or ire. Which brings me into the upside down and upright position of the cards. An upright position might mean ire, not always, because some cards, when they are in an upright position, they might simply mean Osogbo, a challenge. It depends on the card. The same thing with a card that is upside down, generally speaking, it could mean an Osogbo. But it also could mean an ire, depending on the card. And also depends of how it is combined with the rest of the reading. This ire or Osogbo, what it only represents is the flow of energy in life, yin yang. Okay, the energy ire will be yang, which is ascending, and you are in the zenith, in the climax. And if you want to stay there, you really need to appreciate those gifts that you have, those blessings that God, Orishas, the universe is bringing forward for you. If you don't know how to keep that energy flowing, and then you get into a state of inertia, inertia is very yin in nature, and yin is heavy, it's a very heavy energy. And what it's going to do is pull you down, and then you have this senoidal curve that is going to go up, and then start descending, and then you start an involution process that is going to bring Osogbo into your life. And then it's going to start bringing challenges, difficulties, threats, and eventually, if you don't work it up, it's going to turn into a curse. And you might get stuck there if you don't know how to work it out. But at the same time, ire and Osogbo is letting us know that life is all about yin and yang. You rise and you descend. You're born, you're going to die. Life. Today, you're having a good life. Tomorrow you might have not a great life. That's life. Today you have a lot of money, tomorrow you don't. That's yin and yang, a cycle of life. That's what Abraham Maslow, in his hierarchy of needs, he explains. And you go in an ascending, in an evolutionary process, ascending, you're seeking evolve as a human. But if you want to stay on the bottom of the pyramid, you're going to stay there and you will eventually have an osokpo. Okay, and that's the dynamic. If you have studied electronics, computers, or anything along that line, you will know that life energy is an oscillatory frequency. It's an up and down. That's how it flows, up and down. Yang and yin. Ire, osokpo. And that is life. It's like a big bang. It expands and then it contracts. It expands and it contracts. The same thing at the lungs. They expand and they contract. That's ire and osokpo. That's yin and yang. But if you hold your breath and then you put a plastic bag in your head, that's going to stay osokpo and you're going to die. That's a challenge, that's a threat. You just need to know and master that energy. Like in Chinese medicine, it's all about harmony, and you need to learn to the perfect moment to emerge from that osokpo by working and waiting for the right time. While you're waiting, you have to use the time to learn what those challenges and obstacles are bringing into your life. So when you are doing a tarot card reading, you have to look at what is up, what is down, and create a big picture. Because you have a thesis, an antithesis, and then the synthesis. You have to be able to see the big picture, how everything plays out. Something that I have learned is that depending of how many cards are, let's say you have a lot of pentacles or a lot of wood, or more wood and staff, more staff and more coins or pentacles, I already know that there is fire and earth elements involved there. Something that I have learned throughout my readings is that the tarot cards are going to represent the planetary transit that are affecting the consultant right at the moment. Or not necessarily that. What they're doing is presenting you a progression. It could be solar arcs or secondary progression. If you know about astrology, you know what I mean. It could be a solar arc or a secondary progression. But in that moment that you're consulting the person, the tarot cards are letting you know that astrologically speaking, something is affecting the person. It could be the transit or it could be the progression. It could be solar arcs or secondary progression, doesn't matter. But it's one of those. Or it could be a return. A solar return, a Saturn return, a Jupiter return, whatever it is. But that's what we have there. And when we have a progression, a solar arc, or a planetary return, that might represent a challenge to the person, a threat. That could be an osokpo. And then our purpose is to figure out how to help the person turn that challenge in something positive. But the energy is there. Oh, something that we also need to remember is that this is the tarot card is a binary system. And if you are associated with electronics, computers, you have any kind of knowledge with that, you know that's how computers operate. 1, 0. 0, upside down. Upright is a 1. Yes, no. And that's how they operate. A lot of zeros means no, osokpo. And then a lot of right position is yes, 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 yes. Okay? And this has a dynamic that is able to let us know what is going on. There might be a consultant that might have a lot of upside down cards. It's saying that there is an involution process. That means that the person might be clinging to the wrong thing in life and is creating the Osogbo. Is a lot of challenges. It might mean that the person has crossed his arm and is in a state of inertia, and the person, without knowing it, is bringing to himself Osogbo. A lot of obstacles, is attracting a lot of obstacles, a lot of bad energy, if we can call it like that. That's things that I have learned throughout my experience reading tarot cards since 1996, 1997, more or less around that time. And something else that I have learned is that tarot cards, they are an oracle. And oracles, they must be handled with a lot of respect. And that's where I'm coming from. What I'm trying to tell you is that throughout my experience, I have learned a lot of things by observing different oracles. I have read quite a lot, imagine, 18 years approximately, reading about astrology and many other topics. And I have been able to mix all this. That's why you see that my tarot card reading is kind of different and unique, because I borrow from different sources, but I realize that at the end everything is the same, and they're teaching us something. And that's what I'm here, because what I'm trying to tell you is that I can offer you tarot card classes if you're interested. It could be by group or individually. If you're interested, you can contact me. The information is, my email is right on the window, on the screen, and you can reach me and ask all the questions you want. But what I teach is, first of all, the tarot cards represents a cycle of life. If you have studied marketing or psychology, then you're familiarized with Abraham Maslow hierarchy, the pyramid of needs, the hierarchy chart, and also with the cycle of everything. Everything in life has a cycle, and the tarot cards are letting us know. So what I do, I divide the cards in those cycles, so that way you can have an idea what is happening. Okay? Someone that has a traumatic experience, Osogbo, they are being catapulted into a different level of consciousness. So that is going to be manifested in the tarot cards. And then I break down the major arcana in this flow of energy that manifests a cycle of life, a cycle of a product or of an event. I also can tell you the timing for a tarot card reading. When are the most important times for a person? And you have to keep that in mind. And the symbolism is very important in tarot cards. You have to pay attention. Are there doors there? Are there windows? What it means? All that kind of stuff. They talk to you. And it's not analyzing individually a card. Is a major, a common denominator that all they have in common. And that's the message. You just cannot base a reading in just one card. You have to see what is the message that all of them have in common. That's why I like when I email my classes. You know how to find me. Different tarot cards. Just contact me. Ask the questions that you want related with tarot card reading classes, and I will be very happy to assist you. And